Hey everybody, and welcome to Hex Token channel. The day has arrived, day 4 of the Hex conference, and of course the keynote speaker will be Richard Hart. Hope you guys are excited. Now obviously we have no expectations. That's how we roll on this channel. We have no expectations. Expectations. That's what we do, but we're going to speculate anyway, right? Because we're YouTubers. That's what we do. YouTubers do that. You guys do it, we do it, everybody does it. So we're going to have some fun with that. All right, so we've got a poll in the chat at the moment, so let's pull that up. We've got, will Richard Hart announce Pulsechain Testnet v3 today? And obviously we don't mean, this is the formal announcement, because I don't think that's how it's going to play with Testnet. We know Richard's trying to avoid timelines. So we're just speculating, having a bit of fun with this. Will Richard Hart announce Pulsechain Testnet v3 today? And obviously he could do something like, oh yeah, it's just suddenly alive. The devs put it online while he was talking or something like that, or it's going to happen soon, but he sort of alludes to it, that sort of thing. So we're going to see. He may just palm it all off and just go, oh yeah, so for another day, I'm waiting, you're waiting, and that's the end of that topic, and let's get into other stuff, right? So that's just the way it goes. But anyway, we've got a poll on at the moment. Yes, he signals imminent launch, and we've got number 2, yes, he indicates soon, 2 more weeks. Now you can take that as 2 more weeks or 2 more weeks or 2 more months, but soon. No, he is waiting too. And of course, we're going to talk about that later on in the live stream. So stay tuned for that with some Pulse Chain information. And then, of course, finally, the last one was who the heck knows proof of weight. We got proof of weight, and we try to hold to that principle of absolutely no expectations. And we're just waiting. So get in there, folks. It's going to be fun. All right, so cool. We're going to get into the Hex conference outline. I've been outlining it every day since we streamed just before the Hex conference time anyway. We're going to get into it and go through the timeline. So if you're not sure what's on today's timetable for the Hex conference day 4, we're going to get into that. So stay tuned. Before we do that, though, let's quickly get into some of the comments. We've got Dirty Pause in the house. Better early than late. Good to see a Dirty Pause. Alex in the house as well. For all those wondering if the announcement will come today, the answer will be 2 more weeks until 2 more weeks. So maybe that's option number 2, indicating 2 more weeks. We'll see. Jim Rat Crypto's in the house. Another Hex and Pulse Chain YouTuber out there representing. Doing the good cause, of course. I need some more Hex token. Let's go. A nice one, Drip Rat. Smash the likes. Definitely smash the likes. Sandy Beach in the house as well. Good to see Sandy Beach. Sarah G says, hello. Does anyone know what time Richard Hart speaks this conference? Well, I'll be talking about that in a second. But, of course, Sandy Beach has told you 11 p.m. Eastern time. Maddie is interviewing RH at 10 p.m. Eastern time since Sandy Beach. And, of course, Terry Doc says 3 a.m. here in the UK. Good to see you, Terry Doc, as always. Bob Fish King in the house. G'day all. It's hard being on holiday with everyone. Everything going on at the moment. My family have banned me from playing crypto content while driving around beautiful Tasmania. That's hilarious, man. That is hilarious. Hey, look, we can all relate to you, man. We're crypto bingers as well, so it's not too bad. Hey, look, but at least if you're binging on something, is it something that's potentially going to make you money or life-changing wealth? Then it's a lot better than binging on other stuff, right? That's probably the way I'd talk about that. Better than binging on soapies, soap operas or dramas or whatever you want to look at, stuff like that. So, yeah, I spent years playing games. It's just like many teenagers when I was a teenager that it was. But, a lot of people play it for decades. These days, when you play games, you're playing it for probably most of your life these days. That's for sure. Decade after decade, people just keep playing. Maybe not as much as they were when they were a teenager, but they still play a lot. 23's in the house there. What's up? Hey, good to see you, 23. We've got Andrew as well. Good to see everybody. Hex token going to be an amazing year for Hex, Pulse Chain, and all the RH ecosystem. Absolutely, Andrew. That is absolutely true. It's going to be absolutely mind-blowing this year. Hey, look, Dank's in the house. Nope, Spam King is waiting too, says Dank. That's what's that number? That's option number 3. Nope, he's waiting too. We've got Brian in the house, one of our 2 community leads, proof of weight. So you're in option number 4. Hey, we've got somebody voting for everything here, so it should be pretty good. We've got 47 votes, so get in on a poll. It's a bit of fun, folks. We know, obviously, Richard Hart is the one that makes the calls, and he also has a big dev team that he needs to say that gives him the go-ahead, right? So he's got a lot of variables moving around there. Let's get in it. We've got, who else is here? Let's jump there. We've got Wookie in the house. Wookie has finished work for the year. Last day. Nice one there, Wookie. Well done. And we've got Tortoise Johnny in house. 2 more weeks, says Tortoise Johnny. What up, Fanny from Brennan? Good to see you, Brennan. And I was just looking through here. Kato is in the house as well. Hey, Superman. Hey, good to see you, Kato. What else there? MB as well. What's it? The pumperoni might dump on our heads next. Buy the rumor, sell the news. That's true too, MB. We'll talk about that when we get up to the hex price there. If I'm interpreting what you're saying correctly. Christian says, hopefully he does talk about it, says Christian. Yeah, I think he's going to talk about it, just to what degree, right? To what degree? So it's, and also if it's something new, right? Something new. That's probably the case there. Hello, Hex Token, everybody. Sandy Beach says. We jump through some of this. Christian says, you might say Pulsechain will launch. Who knows? Hex Token and family. Terry Doc's in the house. Matt Jones in the house. Hey, guys, good to see you, Matt. John as well. Good evening from Grand Canary, from John Gonzalez. Always a pleasure. Some mega content on the Hex conference, says Matt Jones. Yeah, so I have been clipping out what I think is the best stuff. Obviously, there's lots of social stuff, lots of YouTubers, influencers, stuff like that, but just the technical, I'm just focused on the crypto on this channel. You guys know that. And so, yeah, I have posted, what did I post the first day? Well, yesterday I posted the Power T shares, the third year, which was awesome, from the Crypto Spa book guys and Crispy Man. And then the day before I posted, just forgot what I posted the day before. Posted something else the day before. I can't remember. I posted something else from the first day. So day 1, day 2. I'm thinking about going through day 3. There was this charting session by the third session with Access and stuff like that. There was quite a few issues I had with that presentation. But hey, it's fun. People rallies people up, so that's all cool. Yeah, I could. There's quite a few issues I had with that presentation. The other thing I had was with Randy Alasky. Not Randy Alasky. He's awesome. He was awesome. Crypto 7 raining the parade on the derivatives a bit. I thought that was a bit silly. Had he forgotten that almost 2 billion hex got staked through those derivatives, and most of that probably wouldn't have got staked, and the hex price could be a lot lower. So I don't know whether he thought about that when he was writing that speech, but apart from that, it was okay. What else there? Christian in the house there. What's up, B? Good to see you, Christian. John as well in the house. Woohoo! And StakeX says, hold off on the Pulsechain, still dollar cost averaging. I like how you're thinking there, StakeX. I like how you're thinking there. Yeah, well, that's one of the things, right? Why are you waiting for Pulsechain? Just buy Hex and stake Hex. That's pretty much the logic there, eh? Always got your back, Sandy, says Brian. Nice. I love this community, man. So supportive of each other. Astri in the house as well. Woohoo! Good to see Astri. Hardy Hexalorian. Hello, Brian. Hello, Superman. Good to see you. We got Wake Dog as well. Hey, Wake Dog. Good to see you in the house. He'll tell us he called the top on the day. Judas Candle software is hard. Could have a solid on a double. That could very well be the script, Wake Dog. We'll find out. I'm pretty. I'm optimistic. Let's see how we go there. Scott says, I'm willing to bet 100,000 Hex. He won't announce testing at 3 tonight. Wow, Scotty says, woo, that's a big bet. Walkie's in the house. If you like being poor, it's great. That's true. Let me jump through some of this other stuff as well. Access Alive's TA was amazing. Yeah, I won't rain on the parade too much on that, but yeah, it was at least encouraging. Hope I'm wrong, says Scotty. Me too. I don't know who's going to take the bet up with you, though, Scotty. I don't know who's going to take the bet up with you, but this is the way it goes. Acapello in the house there. What if RH just stealth launches mainnet tonight? Well, that's what I'm saying. That's probably one of the recent ones. That's kind of in the imminent selection that you have there, and you can check that out. Heads would explode. I know that could actually happen, but that would be legendary. It would be archipelago, and I think the market would be quite ready for that, because always the market's kind of in the zone of 2 more months, 2 more weeks type of place. Brennan's in house there. I love my derivatives, says Brennan. I know. I think they're great, and of course they're the obvious benefits, right? So I don't know where he was heading with that, but anyway, it is what it is. Sandy Beach says, well, at least he's amazing. Lol, says Sandy Beach. I'm not sure who you're talking about there, Sandy. So name a name. Bang bang. Questions. Did you have a minute to look into communist app Vets and Crypto? No, I didn't. I saw you. I hadn't been aware of that at all. I think you posted that. We'll have to have a chat about that, and I'll repost it. Vets and Crypto. But I wasn't quite sure what that was all about. So we'll have a chat in Discord about it. I know that some of the other project teams have been talking about it. So something about hex staking or airdrops or something like that. So let me know with some detail in the Discord, Vets. I'll have a look at that after the live stream. Joanne's in the house there. Hi, Brennan. Good to see you, Joanne. And what else have we got there? I think that's pretty much it. Let's jump through. Are you talking about Access Live? Okay, cool. Who else there? He would never stealth launch. He needs to need on the buzz of the excitement. I would agree with that too. Tortoise Johnny. I'd agree. That's probably the most likely outcome. All right, smash the likes, says Brennan. Absolutely. Let's get into it, folks. Welcome, of course. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, hit the bell on the way in. A very, very big welcome to you all. Big day in the office. Here is the Hex conference, of course, run by Maddie Allen, or Maddie All In, as people say. And, of course, day 4. I think it's run very, very smoothly. So a big hats off to Maddie. This is not easy to pull off. This is year 3 for this one. What's this, his 4th conference, is it? I think it's his 4th one, is it? Or 5th one, somewhere like that. This is the 3rd annual one. I think he's run another one, though. Anyway, so this is run really smoothly. So the first thing you want to do is have really run the operation smooth. I think he's done a great job on that. And the second one is you want to try and illuminate good content, right? Good flow. And I think he's done a pretty good job at that. Now, let's get into the comments. We got in the morning, we got Monday, the 9th of January. And of course, this is 7 p.m. Central Time starting off there. And of course, the first one they got discussing Hex. They got Corey Costa, a Fury Finance, a Ben Abu Habad, and RH Max there. So that's the lineup for the first discussing Hex session. Then they've got, they've switched things around a bit at 8 o'clock in the evening. They've got Staker App with Steph. Now, this is my 3rd session that I'm really keen on. So as I said, I've already posted the keynote speech here yesterday because this is really the alpha I like. This is my stuff that I focus, obviously. But I also posted, I just remember now what I posted because I can see it on here. I posted the Kinetics, the Hex Investment Trust update. And of course, that is massive for buying volume. This was something missing out of Access's presentation, just one of the many things. This is the sort of thing is, where does the money come from? It's fine talking about the supply side, but you've got to talk about the demand side as well. And of course, this is the play here. So this is potentially going to be massive for Hex, and we'll be watching that journey. Now, nothing's certain, of course, but this is heading in the right direction. If they get to go public with this and, of course, get the marketing up and running, and then you could potentially access a ton of money. And some of these big moon boy prices on Hex, they can come into fruition when you have these, not just millions or tens of millions. Take us another 25 million, say, or just slightly higher than that to get us back to 50 cents. Imagine getting people coming in with tens of millions, hundreds of millions in dollars. This is kind of the access that you get through getting a public listing and, of course, marketing it well. So you can try and get that big capital, and then you can start getting the big moon boy prices. This is just one of the many demand side forces that you can have come in, or factors. I can list at least a half a dozen of very large sources that we could get access to. And so maybe I'll do a video on that. How about that? Let's do it. Let's go demand side crazy. Demand side crazy on that one. So that is the play there for that one. Now, obviously, with Stake Wrap, we've been looking forward to this for a long time. Stake Wrap version 2 looks absolutely stunning. The UI UX is absolutely amazing. This is one area I think in the Hex Pulsechain community we can really lift our game. Obviously, if you're a UI UX person, we need really good interface content. We have lots of data and lots of transparency, pretty much one of the best, if not the best in the market. But we do need a lot more around the UI UX. And so I encourage people, if you're out in that area, that's the area that we could really get some good engagement. And we'll talk more about that later. So it's really just a bit of encouragement of that area. I think we can do lots of more work on if you're specialized in that, of course, if you've got some skill set there. We've got talk number 11 with Hex Tangent. So we'll get some more TA probably from Hex Tangent, another perspective as well from Aussie Tangent there. So that should be a lot of fun. Let's see if he can keep it to family channel level, but it's going to be good to see Tangent. He's a very charismatic dude. Talk number 12, K4K crypto. So we'll probably get some sort of mathematic bent to his presentation. Maybe some secret source he's got from one of the Pulsechain developers. Who knows? We'll find out. And we'll see if we get on talk 12 there. And of course, then we're going to get into the main event. And what time is that? 9 o'clock in the evening is Richard Hart coming on panel 8. Of course, Maddie interviews Richard Hart. So I think he's probably going to try and get as many questions to Richard Hart as possible. That'd be very, very fruitful for the rest of us. We'll be enjoying that. and listening very, very carefully. Then, of course, number 10 p.m. in the evening, we're going to have Richard Hart himself with the keynote number 4. And, of course, that's going to be pretty exciting. Richard Hart, Hex founder there, and so we look forward to that. Yeah, that's probably where we're probably going to get something if we get something. But the problem was with the Q&A and the keynote is that the crossover could be pretty large. We saw that last time. So we'll have to see how this flows through. So far, everything has flowed very well. I've been very impressed with the running of the conference. And then, of course, then finally, panel 9, Richard Hart Social. And, of course, maybe Richard gets, he's been up in there for about 2 hours or so there by that time. And he's got lots of people to ask him questions. Maybe we get even more juicier stuff starts to sneak out there. We'll find out. It's going to be good. I think last time we had one of the best things that came out was out of the socials. So look forward to that. Let's see how they get on. We've got Papa Bowden in there. We've got Crispy Man, obviously for Hexy Fire over there. And we've got Crypto Copy, X-Ray Vision, Big Kowalski, X Monkey, Hodl Dog, Johnny Chaos, and Sticker Guy win there. So a really diverse panel there. And let's see how we go. They get on one at a time, though, every 6 minutes. So apparently they're on one at a time. Maybe they'll all show up at the end like the Brady Bunch. I love the Brady Bunch format on the screens. It's pretty funny. And, of course, no one's gone like this yet or, poking out like that. It'd be cool if they could play the soundtrack, but, of course, they'll probably get pinged on the copyright. But that is the conference for day 4 coming up. And let's see how long we've got to go. It's at the end of this live stream, of course. So it's still around about 2 hours away. So that is the time frame from Hex Conference. So exciting, man. This is the big day. This is Richard's coming on. But we do have a great lineup with a lot of other people on there, from Staker App through to, the very biggest influencers out there, and lots of different points of view. So it's going to be a lot of fun for sure. That is the conference there. Let me put out that. That is the link, the Hex Conference there. Let's put it in the video as well, just in case you want to stay tuned for that. It's about 2 hours away. Let me have a look at the time frame. Yeah, around about 2 hours away, so stay tuned for that. That is the YouTube show there on Matty Allen. So really excited there. All right, so let's jump over to the stock market. We're going to have a bit of an update. Of course, we're going to go stock market to crypto, into the Hex ecosystem charts, and then we're going to jump over into some of the ones that we're watching. And so stay tuned for all that, including, so we're going to cover Zen, Texan Token, BNBP, Pulse Bitcoin, all the favorites that most of the community is involved with in some way or the other. So stay tuned for that. Then we're going to wrap up with the Hex Daily Stats, and of course, then a couple of little insights into the Pulsechain that we can see at the moment. So just stay tuned for all that. All right, so the Dow Jones pairs gains to close lower as slump in healthcare bites. So this is the Monday, of course, US time. And of course, what is the time here? We've got the Dow Jones with the top 30 industrials at the moment. That is down 1/3%, down 113 points to 33,500. We've got the S&P 500 is pretty flat, just down slightly, 3 points down to 3,892. The NASDAQ with all the tech companies in it is up slightly, 0.6%, 66 points to 10,635. So that is the results for the indexes. Let's have a look at the commodities. We've got Brent oil is up 1.5% or $1.22 to $79.80. And of course, West Texas there is just still moving around a bit there. They're still open for the looks of it. So that's at $74.75. Looking at gold is down pretty flat, really. Down $1 though at $18.75. And silver is down 1% at down 23 cents. Down to $23.75. So silver really finding tough to get through that $24 to $28 mark. But we are possibly, if we get that Fed pivot, and of course, we're talking about the pre-Fed pivot, then we might get we get the US dollar weakening, then we could get a rally and the silver maybe bust through that resistance zone. All right, so the Dow Jones gave up gains to close lower Monday as falling healthcare and energy stocks offset the tech strength in tech after Treasury yields slipped amid ongoing expectations that the Federal Reserve will slow its pace of rate hikes. So is the market going to be wrong? Is the market going to be wrong about the Fed? Is it going to give us 50 basis points and we'll be wrong? We'll see. We'll see how we get on. At the moment, things are heading in the right direction. So everything I've said that was going to play out, we've had January would be a window of opportunity. That appears to be the case. We've had economic data come in weaker. That's kind of cool. We peaked out at inflation at 9.1. Seems to still could be coming down. We just saw some wage inflation, lower wage inflation. Finally, that's what we were after. That's kind of very, very exciting to see. Unemployment as well. So, it's going to be fun to see this for January data as well, leading into February. So we're going to have a good time with that. Now, also, I don't know if the PCE inflation's come out. Don't think it has yet. We're going to have a look for that as well. That is what's tracking down to 2%. Now, I think that rather than hit 2%, I think if we can track down pretty severely towards 2% and show that every month is building on each other, a sustained direction towards 2%, that's going to be pretty bullish for pulling back the interest rates. Maybe that terminal rate stays at 5% rather than 5.25, doesn't go higher than that, and then stays up for say 6 months maybe rather than 9 months is kind of my picture, and then we have a true pivot where we get a reduction in interest rates, and that's kind of the play. So that ends up in Q4 23. That's the bullish scenario in my view, but it could accelerate, man. There's always a chance that the inflation really starts to come back a lot more. That being said, we've seen lots of expansionary fiscal policy in the US administration and other things going on there. They're very poor with the supply side because these guys just don't know what they're doing at all, which can and cannot play into our favor. At the moment, of course, we're going to see how that plays out. But we've got the natural pullback in inflation at the moment, so that's going pretty good. And let's see how far we go with the January data when it comes out. Energy and healthcare and weighed on the broader market with the later hurt by a fall in Dexcom, Baxter, and of course Regeneron, and of course which fell more than 5% after reporting lower sales for its Eylea treatment. Energy, however, traded lower even as ongoing demand optimism from China's reopened, and of course a weaker dollar helped push oil prices higher. The US 10-year Treasury yield slipped, extending its move lower from Friday when the December jobs report showed cooling wage pressures, and as I said, that was a really good sign, helping rate-sensitive sectors, including tech, flourish as investors continue to price in a less hawkish Fed. Yes, please. The other side, of course, is not just the interest rates, but the actual monetary supply. We want them to go back to increasing. Remember, over the most of last year, we saw a slight decrease in the monetary supply, something around about 1.7%, somewhere in that ballpark. And of course, we want to see it back to expansionary, maybe 5%, 10%, particularly 5% would be pretty good. Fed funds futures showed bets on the peak level rates slipped below 5% from a week ago. That's kind of cool. That's where we want to get to. And of course, we may get a bit better year than maybe some people expect. So that's kind of where we hope there. Now, obviously, quite a few people are still expecting the stock market to pull back by 25% again from like last year. We'll see whether that does occur or not. Led the gains in tech. So Apple, Microsoft, and Alphabet led the gains in tech, while semiconductor stocks were lifted by a more than 5% rise in NVIDIA, following a slew of positive remarks from Wall Street. Of course, NVIDIA was named as the top pick by Wells Fargo amid expectations for the chip industry downturn to bottom in the first half of the year. Chris Sweet says NVIDIA remained its top pick on the basis of de-risked gaming and the catalyst from Grace Hopper super chip. That's kind of cool. Now we're going to jump through a lot of this stuff here. Let's go down to the bottom. I think that's where we are at. Yeah, so in crypto news, Bitcoin rose more than 1%, and that's where we're going to pivot into crypto now. So let's jump over to that. Let's get into crypto here. So we've got BTC looking pretty good, over 17,000. And like I say, I think we could get a bear market rally here up to 18,500. It's kind of my expectations if we do go to the top. And then I think that we're still going to get our final capitulation where we get to 14K, whether it's 12, whether it's 11K in pray, whether it's in the 9,000, we will find out. There's no obvious catalyst at the moment. We've still got issues around Gemini and Genesis and a few other things going on. What's the bank name? I just forgot the bank that's an issue at the moment. So we've still got, is it Phoenix? Can't remember now, but we've still got a few things like that out there, but nothing seems to be big enough at this stage to take the market down. Obviously, there's more BTC held by custodials and stuff like that in government that could be sold down. I don't know if we're going to see that in any particular order. Get that bottom of the market. So we're going to see. I think it's all going to come out pretty uneven in the marketplace there. So that's where we're at the moment. I guess we've got the Grayscale Trust that's still got its issues with the price discount at around about 45%. So we'll see whether that has any impact as well. Obviously, the behemoth now, of course, is Binance. And Binance controlling so much of the BTC trade. Was it something like up to 90% or something? I mean, it's a pretty big deal. So that still can be an issue. Obviously, they got fined. I think they got fined quite a bit of money. Was it yesterday came out or something like that? So they got big fine was $100 million. Can't remember now, but something like that. So that we've still got issues floating around. In any case, we got BTC at $70,116. We got ETH at 1,317, up 2.7%. ETH was looking really good over the last 24 hours. And yeah, nice little rally there. I saw it get up to like 6% or so. But that was nothing compared to Solana. Solana was absolutely huge. Let me just adjust this a little bit here. Solana, man, look at that, up 16%. But is it a bit of a paper house? Let's find out. We'll find out. But it's up 16%. It's pretty epic. ADA, of course, also has done pretty well, up 7.5% to 31 cents. It's been pretty standout. And of course, Litecoin also having a good day in the office, 5.4%. And I kind of still feel Ethers could really blow to the top, and so did Bitcoin as well, because they're definitely lagging behind some of these other chains and stuff like that. So it's kind of cool. I've just noticed the last couple of days that stablecoins have been under peg, USDC, USD Tether, to slightly under peg for several days now. Been pretty interesting to see that. I'm just letting me look through some here. We've got ENG is up 5%. COV is up 12% there, you can see. So still some good returns happening over the place. Gala was the talk of the town. This is the gaming one, I think. Gala, that is up 16%, 4 cents there. That had massive gains, right? It was up 60%, stuff like that. So that's been pretty epic. What else has been pretty epic? Bonk, was a Bonk out? Something I think was Bonk. Can't see that here on this list, but that was out too. I'm trying to have a look through here to see whether I can see that. No. Oh, we have got FTT for all things. FTT at $1.32, up 45%. What the heck, man? Come on, man. Crypto, come and price things properly. But anyway, that is where that is at the moment. So that is kind of crypto. Pretty good day in the office. January, man. I said it was a window of opportunity between the Fed rate hikes, and of course now we've got the financials coming back a bit. That bodes well for a slightly less aggressive Fed. But we always know that the Fed is normally more hawkish than the market prices in. So let's not get too comfortable. But definitely things are heading in the right direction. And we do have this lovely window in January, which is kind of nice. All right, so cool. That is pretty much it. Let's have a look at the markets globally. So we're at 878 billion is the market cap for crypto. And of course, it's up 1%. We've got BTC is, as you can see, is up there. I'm just having to go through the top 10 here. Dogecoin up 2.82%, sort of standout. Solana up 12.63%, as we say. We're going to scroll down to here. Cosmos is up 5.3%. And I'm not sure what the heck this is. Dead Protocol, what the heck? 247,000%. What? I don't know where that came from, but that's up there. Jumped 834 spots. Are you kidding me? I haven't seen anything around that. So this has come out there. Let us know in the chat if you knew that this was happening with this Dead Protocol. Presumably that is correct pricing there, not some sort of data error. But that's pretty impressive. Now, what I was looking for was Hex. So Hex is back in the top 20 on Nomics, so which is kind of cool. Good to see Hex back there. Obviously, you want to get back in that top 10 space. That is where we're at the moment. So up 6% overnight, which is a good pivot into Hex. Let's get into it. So Hex here. Let's get rid of the trades. So actually, it's broken down just a little bit there too. So this is kind of where Hex is going at the moment. It did, remember when we were covering it here, we talked about this being the first wave for Hex. And of course, then it did roll over. So we're expecting 2 waves. It was definitely possible given what's going on with the conference, but it did roll over. So how do we know it's rolling over here? Well, we can see that it's just only slightly higher here now at the moment. And of course, it started to roll over. So it started to lose the angular of momentum there, or angle of momentum, and it started to roll over and down it came. But it didn't completely capitulate because we've still got time with the Richard Hart conference, right? So it didn't capitulate. That I would have expected that to capitulate normally. That did not. It sort of stayed up at around 2.25, and that if it broke down through there, that would have been a bit of a capitulation there. And of course, it managed to rally up here, bounced off a 2.284, and up it went to early hours of my time. What was it, about 7, or not too early, about 7, 8 o'clock in the morning my time. It got up to this top price here of 2.645 cents. So looking pretty good with higher highs here, but definitely less momentum. So we're bouncing. Currently, we're sitting here at 2.42. We've got a bit of profit taking in here. One count in particular, we took the profit, and down we came, followed in by a few others. And of course, we're currently at 2.46 with Richard Hart going to be speaking in a couple of hours' time. So that's kind of where we are on the Richard Hart Hex conference. You can see the end of that over here on the green line with the Hex conference on. So let's put on the 24 hours. We've got the last 24 hours, we had 298 buys versus 223 in the top trading pair. That has now got liquidity of $6 million. Woohoo! Remember, we were talking about $5.4 million just a little while ago. We're up at 6 million, so that's positive, right? That's positive. We got the buy volume. So what is that? That's 57% buy volume, 43% sell on the number of trades. In terms of the volume, and this is the one that really counts, is 55% buy there. That is pretty positive. Over 45% sell. That's on 24-hour basis. So very cool day for Hex there. On the 6 hours, that is still holding up. Or actually, that's when the sell down started happening in the last hours here. This is a 15-minute chart, by the way. So it's showing 15 minutes. And of course, we ended up getting those people selling in. There was one account in particular that sold that down from the top there. And the last hour, how are we picking up here? It's still pretty even, but the sell is still slightly stronger. A bit of a battleground going around here at 2.463, almost around the 2.5 cent mark. Almost, not quite. That is back up here. So we need to get back up to 2.5 cents. So we'll see if we get some good news. When maybe we'll rally out of that. But at the moment, this is kind of where we are. Just look on the weaker side here. We'll see what the market expects. If there's nothing new, could easily sell down. So just be careful here in the current price, because obviously buy the rumor, sell the news, right? It's kind of a bit built into this chart. We'll see where that heads off. All right, that is pretty much Hex there. Let's get into the Whalebot. We've got the Whalebot here, 160,000 Hex in staked 22 hours ago. So more penalties. If you haven't checked out hex.com, folks, check it out. The link's in the video description. It is the ultimate long-term savings product in DeFi crypto. Really did lead the way in DeFi crypto. Audits, economic audits, innovative share rates, compound returns, you name it. Uniswap made Uniswap popular. Really did lead the way in so many different milestones. So check out hex.com. If you have any more questions, of course, get into our Discord as well. The link's in the video description. We are pretty much the beachhead Discord there on Hex and Pulsechain on the Discord. So definitely get in there if you want to get more help as well. Obviously, nothing on this channel is investment advice. You must always do your own due diligence. And as I say in crypto, it's always good. Keep learning because we're all learning, right? So just keep learning about crypto. Let's jump over to the Whalebot. Of course, we've got lots of penalties. Obviously, when you stake Hex, you get inflation and penalties. And of course, we're getting lots of penalties today, 22 hours ago. Very, very cool. Heaps of them. Look at another one there. Man, lots of good day for penalties. We saw some nice stake here, 2.2 million staked. We have seen some good stakes lately. It's been quite good. Another one here, 225 million. This is a transfer. I'm not sure what's happening in there. What else we got going there? 200, some more penalties. We get the penalties there, some more penalties there. What else there? No penalties here. This one here was a 1,091 day stake. They got a nice look at the ROI, 149%. So this is an OG stake here and 5 million Hex. So very cool, almost 50% APY, 7.5 million Hex. That's pretty cool on 5 million. Very, very, very cool. All right, so cool. That's looking good. Now I do see this is what Vets and Crypto was talking about here. The Communist app. I have seen this posted. There's a new token to encourage Hex long-term staking. So I'll have a chat with Vets and Crypto on that one, and we'll talk about posting that in our Discord again. All right, so cool. That is what's happening there. Now, I was going to have a quick look at the Hex on ETH Power and ETH Fair, but it's not worth talking about. The trading volume on ETH Power and ETH Fair is extremely low, not just for Hex, but for everything on there. I think the ETH Power is down to 150,000 on the 24-hour volume. Remember, it used to be back up at something like 6 million, so it's really come down there. So I'm not going to end up talking about those. I was going to have an update every so often, update the ETH Power and ETH Fair network for Hex, but the volume's so low, it's not even we're talking about, not even for retail play there. Now, hey, look, it may always come to its own in the future when the bull market, sort of everything rises in the bull market. So we'll see how that goes. At the moment, we're going to have a quick look at Maxi, of course, the perpetuals, the derivatives, as we say. And of course, let's be very clear about what these have done. These have done staking pools. They have really optimized the Hex contract. Longer pays better, bigger pays better. Gas savings as well. And not only that, but overall, from a global point of view, in addition with Cozy Hedron, They have got almost 2 billion hex off the public market supply. This has been amazing. It's just nothing else. There's really nothing else to say about it. It's been absolutely incredible. So just want to send that out there. Lots of love, man, to Maximus and the Alex McFerder and dip catcher and goalkeeper, what they've done. It's been absolutely incredible during 2022. What these guys have done for the Hex ecosystem and the Hex underlying contract and supply really is a big deal. Now, that is the price of Maxi, currently at 3.396 cents. Remember, this is around about the 30th biggest stake in Hex and about the 15th biggest shark stake last time we checked. So let's have a quick look at the price premium at the moment, with 38% premium. So it's just sort of sitting in this zone around about this 38% mark. You can see on the chart there. Let's actually full screen that. You can see the premium. Gone are other days, I think, for the premium to be up at 2.5. It may increase at some stage, may get back into here, but of course, it's a long life assets. When I say this, this is just in the short, medium term. As the treasury builds, the premium is probably just going to keep going up and up and up. So this is something that's going to have a lot of different variations in it over time. So it's going to be fun to see. The DESI, which is the 10-year perpetual. Let's have a look at this. This is currently at 2.44 cents. Had a nice little rally as well with Hex. Let's have a look at the premium. This is one's being discounted, right? It's currently at 98.89, so discount to Hex as well. So it's kind of some interesting behavior going on there with the DESI. And of course, the Lucky as well also had a discount. Kind of weird. The market's doing some funny pricing there, in my view. Let's go on, but the market decides, not me. The market decides. But there we are. So we got 2.47 cents for the trio. This is the 3-year perpetual. So look at the premium and or discount. So we're at one to one. There we are, the 1-to-1 there. So not much to see there on the 3-year. Let's have a look at the base. And I'm excluding liquidity from this, right? I'm just talking about the premium here. So we've got 2.4. It's probably slightly discount, I guess. Is it? No, slight premium. 1.01. 1.014 is the base of the short one, which had been more consistent, right? This had a slightly better premium in the short term. So people pricing the short term over the long term for those perpetuals, except for the Maximus. It does have a 4x bonus with the Hedron, but you know, I mean, it's just a bigger icing on the cake, really. That is pretty much the Hex ecosystem. We're going to get onto Hedron. Hedron is looking good too, and I said that it was looking good, and it is looking good. It's nice to see it return. This is the only chart that has tricked out quite a few people out this year, and that is because of the minting. People can mint so much stuff. So that's the other thing. Some people have also potentially criticized the lending as well. But hey, I think apart from that, I think it's been going pretty well, despite the price retrace there. But the market does price it down when it reflects some of the fundamentals over time. Let's have a quick look in the chat here. Let's jump over to, let's see, we're going to go through some of the chats before we move on. Don't want to get too far ahead here. Let us get back in here. I think we got up to here. Kvitz Crypto says, did you have a minute to look in Communist app? Yeah, get into Discord. We'll talk about that. I had a quick look at it, but nothing much more because I was trying to, get ready for this live stream. Joanne says, hey, Brennan, good to see you. We should have a back and forth for Discord and direct this chat to Content Superman, just saying, yep, let's do that. I said that earlier, so let's do it. Displays in the house at 99.99999% sure Pulsechain will not launch today. Yep. Hey, look, there's 2 camps at the moment, and we're going to talk about that when we get into it. But if we come back to the Hex chart, let's go back to that quickly because I didn't do the daily. I just did the short term zone. Let's go into the daily here. This is our map at the moment of the earliest time frame that I see for Pulsechain at the moment. So that's kind of where we are. The Pulsechain testnet somewhere between Richard Hart's announcement today or not announcement, and of course into March. That's kind of where I see Pulsechain testnet. That's the earliest probably time frame, and then of course Pulsechain mainnet there somewhere between April and May as the earliest time frame. Now I do know that some people are trying to indicate that we might be on the back end here when the market potentially pivots in the expectation like September, October. but I do feel that we've got plenty of the information here to launch in this time zone. So will it be on the earlier side? We're going to find out today. So let's see how we get on there. We do have the Shanghai fork coming up in March, and of course we've seen some of the like a Lido and things like that rally. Some of the liquid staking pools for ETH rally on the ETH withdrawals coming up for Shanghai in March. So that's been pretty positive. And of course, I think we've got Cancun after this, right? So that's going to have some early sort of sharding stuff, I believe, with the dank sharding. We'll see how that goes as well. And then, of course, we've got V3 license coming in here as well on the 1st of April. So my guess is that they'll probably just wait for all this and then possibly fork and Pulsechain launch. Now, will we get a V4? Will we get a V4? Say no, Mr. Postman. Say no. I hope we don't get a V4. But hey, look, we all want it to be good, right? This is the other side of it. We all want it to be 100%, right? Because it's such a big deal. There are billions of dollars with no expectations about where this could go. So it's going to be fun. Anyway, I'm sure it'll all play out. The timing of April, May is still looking pretty good with the first Fed pivot where it hits the first phase at the top of the terminal rate, and then it stays there for a certain amount of time before it does the true pivot when we move back to potentially move back to expansionary monetary policy. So lower interest rates and money printing, basically. So that's kind of the play there at the moment. This is where we are. I think that's probably what I'm going to say there. We'll find out today from Richard Hart. He will tell us. That's pretty much it. Now, it doesn't seem that we had from KDP, remember they had their team, one of their teams or associates talking to Pulsechain team, saying wait off a couple of weeks because of some PulseX project update, probably indicating that we're going to have V3. That doesn't seem to have played out, but is it going to play out today or in the next 2 weeks? We'll see. But so far, the couple of weeks has not played out. We're already up to the 10th of January. So we'll just have to wait to see whether we get any new insights there. So it's just the way it goes sometimes. All right, so let's jump away from all of that. I'm going to close down some of these previous things I had open. We're still climbing. How long? We're still around about 2 hours away. It says here. Let me refresh this. Might have got stuck in transition. Not 2 hours, 46 minutes. 46 minutes away now. So I'm not doing too bad. I knew I had to refresh that browser. Just the way it goes. Let's jump out of some of that. Now let's have a look at Hedron. Hedron at the moment having a good day, man. Rallying up here at 1421. And I do feel that if it can keep going, 2000 is kind of the next progression, next target. And of course, that nice little breakout here. It is sort of doing its own thing here, looking pretty good. We almost got a crossover here with the EMA. That's the exponential moving average. So the yellow, the orange one there is the 9-day, and of course the red one there is the 21. So we've got the short term over the long term, and of course it's weighted to the contemporary days with the exponentials as opposed to a simple. And of course this will be a bullish sign. We get this nice cross, we get a nice breakout here, right? And that gives me 2000 as kind of the target there based on my view. That is kind of the ploy there. Let's have a quick look at the RSI. RSI in a very comfortable position at 52. And of course, plenty of room for a nice little breakout. So the chart's looking pretty good in my view. We also see that the buyers in green on the DMI is crossed over. The sellers are going down. The momentum is going up. So when this orange line typically reaches about 25, which is not far away, it's currently at 21. That could confirm a breakout, and this chart's looking pretty healthy, I think. Now, obviously, this is probability, so it seems like more probable it's going to go up than go down. That's kind of what I'm saying here. No one has no certainty. It's just the way it goes. So there we are, looking pretty good. The next round of big minting for this, big auctions, remember, is February. So that's the next round. We've got over 25,000 T-shares up then. We had 71,000, if you recall, at the beginning, back here on the 13th of November, 14th of November. So the next one for that. And that's going to give, hopefully it's going to give more burning, right? Bigger burning, because I think the burning side's been a bit disappointing. Lending's been a little bit disappointing. But the HSIs, Hex HSIs have been very successful. And of course, staking's been pretty good too. And we had a recent rally in ICOSA. So, you know, it's a bit of a mixed bag, but I think it's mostly very good. Still, I still think it's mostly a big benefit there. So we'll see if the market starts pricing that in. It's going to be fun to watch. Let's go to Hex HSIs. We've got 4,351 in the liquidation queue that have not been pulled into the auction. It looks pretty similar the last 4 or 5 days, that number, but has come down from over 5,000, so that's kind of positive from that point of view. We've got 28 in the auction house today. Let's see what big ones are up for grabs. We've got a 476,000 20 T-shares. It's got almost 3.5 billion Hedron on it. It's got 2 hours and 21 minutes to go. We'll see how that gets on. Let's scroll down through some of these. We've got a couple of 300,000s in here. There's 37 T-shares each. They're pretty, some of them got low bids on them at the moment, 206 mil. One's got almost 1.8 billion on them. Oh, look at them all. There's heaps of them. 300,000. Look at all these 37 T-shares up for grabs. Man, bonanza. So they're all coming up. 70 hours to go or so. They're all about 200 million on them at the moment. And then, of course, we've got 450,000 coming up there, 55 T-shares, and then followed by 17. So some pretty good, decent size X T-shares up there and up for grabs. And a lot of people have been targeting those. So pretty cool. If you missed, we did a video 2 days ago. We had the wrap up there from Dev Huey, and that was pretty epic, actually. But in the last 19 hours, we've had 8 watts of NFTs burned. So that's actually a pretty big day, actually. Perhaps not in dollar terms, but pretty big day there. 2,754 million points. And now there are 21,779 wattses. And I love my favorite joke is it's maybe not the last man standing, but the last crowd standing, because no one's really burning. So there we are. All right, so that is the play there. We did a couple of good days back in early January there in terms of thousands of dollars burned, but just was it 2,000, 2,500 or something dollars today. So that's pretty much it. All right, so cool. I don't think we've got anything else there. Oh yeah, well everyone's posting this communist app, so it looks like we're going to be reposting that on the Discord there. So I'll look to post that. Hex stakers can now claim COM on tokens based on stakes. Anyone who has shares from an active stake can mint their own on Communist. So we'll probably cover that on a separate video. I'll have a little talk to Bets and Crypto there. All right, so cool. That is pretty much it for the Hedron. Looking good, man. Looking good as Hedron. Let's have a quick look at the airdrop free claims. Now, if you want to find these are in the Discord, go to Pulsechain Projects airdrops free claims. And, of course, you can see whether you qualify. Obviously, Zen is a free mint. Now, remember, Hex is playing on a store of value. The Zen is trying to play on the medium of exchange. So these are typically the two camps you're either in. And, of course, Zen is trying to play in this camp. Now, they're trying to use first principles. Basically, it's free to mint, but you have to pay the transactions fees. There's on 10 different blockchains. ETH obviously is the most valuable because it's where most of the smart contracts are. It's where the value and the price of ETH is, etc., etc. So that's kind of a big play there. A BSC and Polygon are pretty big chains too. They're probably a good chance of value there. And of course, there's 7 other chains that's on as well, all EVMs. So let's have a quick look at Zen. Zen at the moment is at 1865, is holding up pretty stubbornly at the moment. I'm going to talk about a few things that are coming up with this though. So this is the chart here. Everyone loves to post this chart because they go wrecked. Look at a wrecked chart. But we knew this was going to happen with the log2 function, right? So this got the first phase is inflationary, big super inflationary phase. There's no origin account in the system, right? There's none of the sort of unique fundamentals to Hex, for example. This is the inflation here. The idea is because this is trying to do mass adoption. So they're trying to get it out everywhere, cross chains, free, everyone come and get it. Tell your mum and your pups and everyone else. So that is their goal. Are they going to be successful? So far, it's been impressive, but is it going to be super successful? Are you going to get to that 100 million users? At the moment, I think we're up at something like, last time we had a number, it was something like 750,000, which is impressive. But, are we going to get up to that? We're going to see. So that's kind of pretty interesting. I think can't remember the exact transactions. I think there's been 200 million transactions across all the chains or something like that. Can't remember the exact number. I'll come back on that one, but it's been pretty big. So we'll see how this goes. The second phase, of course, is NFTs and burning. And, of course, then we've got lending and, of course, derivatives in there. Now, that's a question mark over that, right, the lending, because that can and cannot be there's a bit of mixed bag across that point of view. And, of course, later on, we potentially got leverage and other things like that. Now, obviously, the next token expected to come out is the Reflection token. So the play here is something that is in abundance like Zen versus something that is rare in terms of this almost a store of value Reflection token. So you can take for what you will. It will be competitive burn. That I think will be successful, the competitive burn side. But whether people decide to go into that asset class is another question. But this is kind of the game theory. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. So we'll see how that plays out. That is not expected probably until May. Probably May at this stage because they're still got to roll out the torrents, the rest of the torrents on BSC, Polygon, stuff like that for the NFTs. So we're going to see how that goes. Obviously, there's probably a good chance for a run up in BSC and Polygon. We'll see how that goes. So so it's going to be fun to see that. So that's all the play at the moment. But on ETH chain, we're currently at 1865, holding up pretty stubbornly at this time at 1865. Now, will this lose another zero? Well, probably. But when will it do it? That's the timing is not always as obvious. Now, I'm not going to go too much in the tokenomics because you spend quite a bit of time on this. We're going to just go through some of the highlights quickly and go through this. So at the moment, the liquid supply is 3.437 trillion. So that's worth at 6.5 million. So pretty low comparably. We'll see how that gets on. Let's have a look at. We've had pretty high grey lately, and of course that means that slowed down. The amounts of mints have really slowed down, which is one of the fundamentals for this is the relationship to ETH, underlying ETH, from minting and from burning, and how that it results on the global chain as well, and also free advertising, obviously. But how many is there? There's been over the last 22 hours. Only 22,668 have minted in the last 24. That's pretty low. 2 days ago, that was 105,000. So it just shows you how the GUI impacts the minting profile going forward. So it's going to create some unevenness in the price chart as well, I suggest, over time. Now, obviously, that's going to be pretty interesting. Let's jump over to the dashboard and quickly look at the summary, though. Let's get into this here. I'm going to scroll down to the bottom. This is our main supply chart. This is the one you want to watch every day. So we had new supply of 108 billion. No surprise here. We had decrease in stakes amounts 3.7. They're probably going to get restaked. We saw that happen the other day. We had a new burn. Wow, look at the burn today. Look at the burn today. Huge. 29.5 billion Zen. That's a very good day in the office for the Zen burn. And that means that new liquidity is net at 111.8. So that's still a big day added to supply, however. So even with a terrific burn, there is a big liquidity add there, 111. But that's to be expected. But what a good day in the burn. Now, where'd that burn come from? We saw that Jack posted Zen burn explodes over 350 billion as 2 more X-Unicorn NFTs are minted overnight. These are the biggest ones. These are the rarest. There's only 100 of them. There were 17. Looks like there's 19 now. And of course, you can see that there, number 19 has been minted. So I suggest to you that these will all be eaten up. If not by people buying Zen on the market, then by people minting. And eventually, as the inflation grows, we see it growing quite big. That some of the people will choose not to sell, and they'll choose to mint the rare NFTs. So this is kind of what we probably expect to see over the year ahead. It's going to be interesting to see how fast that takes place and which ones get taken up. So it's going to be fun to watch. I love this because this is a possible play. And of course, I consider it a high quality play. And we're going to see how this goes. Now, it's going to be fun to watch it. I love all this experimenting stuff. Welcome to crypto. It's part of the fun. Now, the burn has jumped back up to almost 8%, 7.94%. So that's kind of exciting to see. Now, the other big number that we're looking at is the mint. What people are mining, is 48.9 trillion, which is almost 9% of the expected total supply. Remember, the total supply, max supply, expected to be about 545 trillion at the moment. Remember, this is over 8 years, and it's based on a log 2 function. So most of the inflation's at the beginning, and it has this deflationary aspect on the back end. So that's kind of what we're expecting to see there. At the moment, of course, we see all these short stakers. So in terms of the price of Zen, we still have the hurdles coming up with the fact that we still have what we call the first 100-day minters coming out, and they're coming out in about 6 days. So we see, if we zoom in on the near term, we can see these candles coming up. These are the 100-day mint. So what's this one here? This is the 100-day mint here. So that is coming up there as well. So we have some decent size, 178 billion. The following day is 160 billion. And of course, the day claim was on the 13th is 150. So you want to see some big X-Unicorn NFTs mint those days to offset the impact of these 100-day mints. And of course, if you remember the launch, there was a 100-day milestone was the first one to hit. After, was it the first 5,000? I think it was mints. So it's going to be interesting to see that. Then it gets back to normal. Normal's around about 80 looks like around about 80 billion there on some days. You do get low days. That one there is 51 billion. Though there are a couple of low days as well. Now, there's all the short-term minters. As we zoom out, you can see that we've got this big gap going. And the big gap here, let me just not go too far, but the big gap here is between March and September. It's going to be interesting to see what the price action happens on the chart in Zen over that period of time. Now, there will be more minters, obviously, as we move into this period. But people are doing less short mints because they're not as economic as they were So people are minting out longer now. So it's going to be interesting to see how much this actually gets filled in with short-term minters, because people are typically minting 120 days or so further out. So if you're speculating on price, so we'll see how that goes. Obviously, we get up to the back end, and of course, we got all this inflation out here. I don't know if this includes the new NFTs, so we'll see how that goes. That is kind of the play there. Now, I could keep talking about this for ages, but we're going to jump away from that and have a quick look at the gas prices at the moment. So let's go down to the GWAI. We're looking at the 30-day GWAI here. This is on Ultrasound Money, and you can see that all the GWAI down here. The last time we really had cheap GWAI on Ethereum was back here at Christmas time, 25th, 26th, Boxing Day, where it was down around 10. I think we got we had one little few moments at 7.7, but really it's bringing 10 and 10 GWAI. So GWAI is definitely being more expensive. Have we said goodbye to sub 10 GWAI for quite a while? This feels like it's just getting higher and higher. This feels the way there. Anyway, we've had quite a high GWAI here over the last month, and as you can see, into January, it's been pretty high. So pretty crazy. Let's look at the last 7 days. Let's do last 7 days here. So last 7 days, minimum 10.5 GWAI the last 7 days. This average here, look at this, 16.3 to 18.7. So this is pretty crazy. That is much more expensive. That also makes Zen more expensive to mint, and that's going to be fun, interesting to see how that plays on Zen as well. So that's kind of some of the things happening there. Let's jump away though to the rest of the charts. We're going to go into Weight Token quickly. Weight Token here had a little rally, got all the way up to 0.3 of a penny. Remember, this is going to be the fiat on-ramp, off-ramp. Potentially this could be coming out on the ETH chain in February, and we'll see whether there's any fees end up going through to the Weight Token holders, because that could rally this chart. At the moment, it got sold off today, got down as low as under 0.2 of a penny. Currently, at just over 0.2 of a penny is the Weight Token, and this is one of the claims as well. 8 different claim sacrifices to qualify that. The poor pleb decided to make a joke of me, and of course, I was making jokes about poor pleb, and not really mean jokes, but jokes just about the fact it's only worth about $2 or something. But anyway, it had a little rally and got up to 3,500. So that's pretty cool. Hey, we love pumps, so go gadget. That's pretty much that one. All right, so cool. That is it. And is that actually finished? I think it was 69 days for the claim, was it? 69 days for the claim. I'm not even sure if that's still open. I think it was 69 days. We're up to 70 days. So is this just closed? It may have just closed. So I'll have to go and double check that. May have just closed the poor pleb. All right, so cool. Maybe that's why it had a pump. That's probably why it had a pump. All right, so cool. That is pretty much it on the airdrops there. Let's jump over to Pulse Bitcoin. Pulse Bitcoin at the moment, this is sort of waned off, hasn't it? But there's been some interesting activity here. We're at $1.36 for Pulse Bitcoin. Now, I was saying yesterday, wasn't I? I was saying yesterday, and this looks like it's going to break down. I said, I'm pretty sure I said it's more probable it's going to break down rather than jump off. It really needed to jump up there, and it did break down. So that's what's happened to Pulse Bitcoin. And of course, let's have a look at the asset token. That also broke down as well. This is the mining, like your asset miner and traditional Bitcoin. This is the token you need to mine Pulse Bitcoin. It's at $2.36. This is probably going to have a bit more resilience, in my view, than the Pulse Bitcoin. This is the input token. There are a lot of them, but this is the input. Most people are mining with them. So there's about 600,000 in liquid, I think, somewhere in that ballpark, and circulating supply. So this is $2.36. This is probably going to have a bit more resilience than the Pulse Bitcoin, which is the output token. And of course, it's trying to be a store of value as well, and it's at $1.36. Now, what's a successful store of value? Well, obviously, you've got yield. You can keep minting it even if the price goes down, but you've also got if the price goes up, right? So that's a successful store of value. You're appreciating in value over time. That could be include the price and the yield. So it's kind of where this is going. We'll see how it goes. Early days for this project still, though. It's still a long way to go. Now, the meme coin, that's going to be under pressure too. Even though the supply is 56% burned, there's not many of these tokens around, about 2.6 million. That is at $5.53. Let's see what it can do. At the moment, the whole ecosystem is under a little bit of pressure with the prices just moving down there at the moment. Hey, this is the way it goes. Now, I do believe that Wolverine apparently has, I haven't checked the tweet itself, but apparently he has staked, locked up, I should say, not staked, but locked up 180,000 Pulse Bitcoin for 1,000 days or something. So I'm not sure if he used a third-party lock or something like that, but that seems to be the case. So we'll see how that goes as well. All right, so that is Pulse Bitcoin. I have been critical of them targeting the the subcontinent. I think that they should be targeting the Western Asia. If you're going to be a store of value, I think that's what you need to go where all the money is. That's probably my only comments there. If you're listening, Wolverine, there we are. Right, so cool. That's Pulse Bitcoin. We're going to have a quick look at Texan Token. How are we going for the conference? Conference is coming up in 29 minutes. That is the conference there. We're coming up to that shortly, but we're going to have a look at Texan Token. Only launched recently. And, of course, we're looking at the hourly chart here. I did warn on the Discord, I strongly suggested we don't do absolutes on as YouTubers, but I strongly suggested that you hold off because of all the free claims. People were just selling their millions, and of course other people were selling. There was really no buyers coming in either, no significant buyers. I went through all the trade list, and no real buyers coming in. And of course, what did it do? It broke down. It kind of looked good right up here when it was up at 3,000. It was kind of teasing, right? It's like, oh, is that going to pop? Is it going to pop? Because typically these things launch. This didn't do the traditional launch either, did it? Normally you launch up here. It did come down, but it was very short. This is on the hourly chart, so we're talking about daily. So if we look at the daily, it's completely different, right? That's the daily chart there. So it really didn't do what we normally see in stuff. We have the first big day, and then it sold off, and then it does a hockey stick. So it hasn't done that, which we often see. But let's go back to the hourly because it breaks down things a lot easier. We saw that, what happened to my chart there? We saw these two big sell-offs here, and no surprise there. So this is going to be something that's going to take out a little while to play out. They have got a massive number of wallets, of course, but a lot of people got a million Texan tokens per wallet. So you got to let that sell through. Let it sell through. Let it sift through. And I've said that on the Discord. Ended up playing out very true there. Now it's 25,247 holders. I know that 1% has been staked so far in the first 3 days, so it's still got a long way to go. But yeah, we'll just give this more time. But you just want to let all those free claims sell out. Otherwise, at this stage, it's like pure exit liquidity, right? So that's kind of, you just wait till it sells out. Now, obviously, timing it is something you're just going to have to keep watching the chart and try and make a good call on the timing. But you can see in the volume is very, very low on the hourly. But of course, these here got played out. So glad that may have helped some people if they were going to look at entering with some decent purchases there. Remember, the liquidity at the moment is only 57,000, so pretty thin. So if you are doing anything of $1,000 or more, you will already be moving the market a bit. So just take that into account. All right, they did have pretty good 86 buys with 65 sells, but the sell volume is 15,000 versus 12,000 over the last 24 hours. So that gives you a bit of sum up there. All right, let's go to one of the other issues is that, there's a lot of tokens, but, that being said, if they get a lot of them end up staked and a lot of the main wallets, then, we're just looking at what's left over after that. So we'll see. We're going to look at BNB pots. Let's jump over to that. This has been front run. So this has been front run. I've been said this is probably going to happen, right? Because we've got the first, when you stake in BNB pot, you have to stake for 100 days. And we've been looking at this project from a staker's point of view, at the crypto casino iGaming displays, and we get the benefits of the profits, right? It's kind of how that works. So people do what they're going to do anyway, and you click the ticket on the way. Now, at the moment, of course, it did get sold off, got front run. So the low was $2.54 yesterday, and the high $3.90. Today, the low has been $2.89, and it's currently at $3.12 at the moment. So it's kind of the new chart there. The RSI is oversold, but this has got a special event coming up, and of course, that is the staking is getting unlocked. The first stakers are getting unlocked. So we'll see how that goes. All right. So we've had 111 buys, 84 sells. So that's kind of where we are at this stage. Let's jump over to the BNB DApp. So how many games we've had? So the first game that launched was Jackpot. We've had 18,066 games on this so far. So really gets ticking along, just ticks along. That's kind of cool. You have to wait till there's two people before it starts playing. That's why it's stuck there. There's not a second player yet. But you can see the past games that are in there at the moment. So cool. That's just ticking away there. Now, what we're looking at is the overall statistics. But before we do that, we're going to have a look at the roulette. This is the latest news. So the roulette is being handed over. So PSI gave us the news from BNB Pot Telegram that they've finally handed over from the team running the tables to the NFTs being run by the NFT holders. And, of course, they have to fund them. I've noticed that since they have funded them, the liquidity has jumped up dramatically. So it looks very, very cool for the NFT holders from the looks of it because liquidity was way smaller than this before. We've got BUSD there at $20,000 now. We've got BNBP at 31,000. These were down at the couple $1,000 range, if I remember rightly. BNB is 10,000. So good to see these, recently funded. The ETH and the Zen ones don't look like they've been funded at the moment. So I'm not sure where those NFT holders are, but they need to get some action. Now we can see the games on the roulette being played on the right here, and you can see winners and losers. If it's green, they've won. If they've lost, it's red. And of course, you can see the numbers that they chose when they were playing this game. It's pretty easy to choose. Really, it's my favorite one actually. Don't know why, just because all the colors, maybe. I don't know. Colors. It's a bit like that. So that's kind of cool. People are playing that, and you can see they're played. And of course, all things equal, more revenue, the more revenue, the more what am I saying here? The more revenue, the more divs that we get, pretty much. Let's have a quick look at the statistics. So we do have the two big challenges coming up, and this is what I've talked about on this channel. We have the participation wallet. That is the incentive wallet for the launch. There's 100,000 BNBP. It is staked, but it has 1 day to go for unstaking. And of course, that won't be distributed straight away. It will be distributed once the last BNBP has been won, and that has not happened yet. So we go to the participation wallet. It is 89.8% the way through. So there's still just over 10,000 still to be won. So that won't be played out until that last one is won anyway. So we don't know exact timeline. I think there's a estimate on it. So we're going to go to the estimate. It says 2 days here, but that's really for the staking. So we don't know when the actual payment, when it's actually going to be won. It could be a couple of weeks from now. We'll see how we go. The airdrops, we've had 4 airdrops. We've got the 5th airdrop is coming up in 19 days and 21 hours. We've got so far got 360 BNBP in there at the moment. Burn events, we've had 48 burn events. So the total supply started off at 1 million. We're now down just below 997,000, which is kind of cool. Just slowly burning the tokens away. That adds value over time. So that's kind of cool. And what else there? Lotteries. We've had 43 lottery wins. So good luck to you if you're staking BNBP. You've got a chance to win that lottery. And of course, there'll be more of those in the future. That's kind of it. But the staking is the big deal. When the staking percentages jump from 77%. So as the price of BNBP has come in, it looks like people have purchased it and staked it because we've gone from about 78% to 80.67% of all BNBP staked. And we've got the burn lowering the total amounts of staked. So it's kind of cool from that point of view. So when this gets unlocked, we're going to see what people do with their behavior. Will they restake it? And then, of course, we've got the next challenge of the participation wallet being paid out and then absorbing that economic activity as well. And then once you get past all that, then you sort of start getting into more into the business as usual without the launch phase influencing the outcome. So it's going to be opportunities in this project. We'll see how that goes. Obviously, we're looking forward to Powerball and Fortune Wheel looking to come out in the first quarter of this year. So it's Powerball and then Fortune Wheel. So we'll have 4 games. So all things equal, revenue should increase from that. Now, obviously, there's issues around marketing too. More marketing needs to be done, all sort of stuff. So that's kind of stuff as well. Obviously, there's a lot of YouTubers in the space. I think Jim Rat Crypto, myself, a few others out there as well that talk about BNB pots. So just more coverage that way as well. Now, there is a referral code still in there. So if you want to go and refer, you can do that. And you might win part of the participation wallet if your people that you refer end up winning. All right, so cool. That is pretty much that update. The latest and greatest are back at $3.12. Kind of cool. We're going to get the Hex Daily Stats. Let's get it to 11:34. We've got about 20 minutes to go before the conference is starting. But let's get into some of the chats there and catch up there as well. Tortoise John says, buzz and excitement. It got up to that. Completion fails in the house there. Hello to all. Good to see a completion. Smash the like, says Brennan. Absolutely. Proof of weight, says Hex Hog. They're definitely proof of weight today. Chronic Cow says honey and rum backward filled with E89. Let's go, says Chronic. Not sure what's going on there. Maddie is doing a fantastic job hosting. He definitely is doing a great job. Let's jump into this. Wookie says he loves his derivative glasses. Yep, definitely. Let's jump through some of that. Yeah, if you want to join Discord, that's our Discord link. Thanks, Wookie. Let's jump through that. Completion says hopefully RH has some good things to say. Definitely, we're all looking forward to that. It's only a few hours times, folks, so it's going to be fun to hear that. Maybe 4 hours time, is it? 4 hours? Something like that. Up and to the right, definitely. Up. And Bet says pumped to hear Richard up. Me too. Let's jump through that. Vet says no V3, but it will be good to get a yearly overview, says Vets. Yeah, that's true too. Yeah, Hal, let's go to the moon. Super. Yeah, let's do that. We all want to go to the moon this year. I hope Richard gives us more insight to indication of the bottom of the market, says Brennan. Yeah, that's another aspect that people were looking at, is view on the bottom of the market being one of the potential catalysts for Pulsechain. Let's go through here, jump through all that. MB says he called multiple times, 10K BTC. He did. Is the weight safe to claim? Seems to be safe to claim. I'm pretty sure the Pulse Police have also checked it, so seems to be going okay, the weight token. A DGN no wrench for me, says Dank. Yeah. What else there? Let's jump through some of that. Let's jump through those. We've got Japon in the house. Good to see Japon. What's up, Hexkins? Good to see Japon in the house there. Let us go through some of this. PSI says RH starts talking and everybody pretends to be listening and care, but the elephant in the room of Pulsechain launch is all everyone wants to know. There's a lot of truth to that, but we'll all be patient. Proof of weight is kind of where we are. Jason says, thanks for the great information. Keep up the great work. Hey, you're welcome. Thanks, Jason. Appreciate that. Tortoise Johnny says, Superman is a beast with this stuff. You can get your economic news just from him, says Tortoise Johnny. Hey, yeah. Hey, look, I could easily flesh all that stuff out, but I'm trying to keep it just, to the pertinent, the main points. So it's, otherwise you start becoming a technical channel. I don't really want to be a technical channel. The Tortoise Johnny says, I was just about to ask what everybody's thoughts about that thing were. Yeah, we're going to get into that on another video. PSI says, Copy teased an airdrop on Twitter earlier. I know. I responded to Copy on my other account. And I said, copy token incoming. Copy token incoming. It's hilarious. Silvergate. You're talking about, is it Silvertooth? So it wasn't Silvertooth going to be launching a token. It wasn't. It was free to launch, but of course liquidity pools get set up. Let me know about Silvertooth. Yeah, Copy's just released a video about it. It's kind of out of nowhere. Yeah, I'm going to look at that. I'll look at that. That's cool. We'll look at that. Copy one has dropped a video on communists. Okay, so is he involved with communists? Maybe that's the aspect. That's what he was talking about, is the communist one there. Will RH be dressed in green or red tinge Prada today? We'll find out. The fashion king will be in the house. Damn to this day, I don't have no Bitcoin. I'm not sure if I want to put beans into it. I might get it in the long way, says Christian. Crypto 7 in the house there. When are you speaking at the conference? I'm not speaking at the conference, Crypto 7. Congratulations on your speech. I did have 2 criticisms about it, but congratulations. It was pretty inspiring, the rest of it. What I was going to say was, yeah, I just don't feel like doing things like that at the moment. That's pretty much why I didn't participate. I did get an invite though. Andrew Reynolds in the house there. Hit the like button. Yes, smash that like button out. What else there? Let's jump through some of that. Ted now says, show some respect for Hex Token and all the work he does. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Let's jump around here. We'll just jump in here. DB says, Pulse, sir. One day closer, sir. One day closer. Jimrat Crypto says, let's go. Make sure you play the Richard Hart. A Little Bubble. I'm going to do that, Jimrat Crypto. I love that song, man. Little Bubble was actually on Twitter saying his purpose in life was to make those kind of videos. I thought that was funny, Jimrat Crypto. Richard has us trained, says Orion. Yeah, that's right. Get a little treat. No, I'm just kidding. But we know not to expect news about Pulsechain. Yeah, that's probably true too. Hey, you got this. Hey, we've got 210 votes, guys. You guys are fantastic, man. That's the best poll we've had for some time. So well done. 210 votes on that. That's awesome. We're going to wrap it up soon after we get up to my final topic. So we're almost at the final topic. Let's jump through some of this. Hex went up 10,000x. We're going to jump through some of this. We've got InvestX in the house. Hello, everybody. Look forward to hearing from Richard later. Absolutely. QQ says, oh, man, Texan got destroyed. It's early days for Texan, but I just said, just let all the free claimers flush out first is kind of where I was at. And it seems to be the right call on that one. Hello, Superman says, J-Man and Hexkins. Good to see you in the house. Jump through some of this. Sorry, guys, I'm just having to jump through quite a few comments. Crypto Arties and now says, what's up, Superman? Who knows today when V3 announcement, at least he saves us 95% from a year ago with the sacrifices, says Crypto Artie. Yeah, there is that. That is a good point there, Crypto Artie. Zen is printing up a storm like fiat. Yeah, that's true, Aussie Stone. Well, it's trying to be a medium of exchange, so I guess it needs a lot of inflation for that. R23 says no Pulsechain launch, no testnet V3, maybe just maybe release date for the documentary. Now he doesn't have any control over the documentary. That's independent. I do know that he obviously put out that call about context with Netflix and others. So maybe he's trying to get involved in that front. Yeah, based on what we've seen so far, some of the people involved as producers and stuff like that have indicated that it's going pretty well on the distribution side of things. So hey, maybe we get ISA stakes out in Q1. That'd be pretty cool. They have got a Q1 to Q2 range, but we might be in luck. We might be in luck there. Solemn Soul says he's the best man in crypto, but he has fallen short of that title. Still optimistic. PLS will launch at some point. Yeah. My own concern is Pulsechain. We're going to launch this year. Well, we're going to find out. We've got our best chance of finding out today with Richard Hart's keynote speech. So stay tuned for that. Hopefully we'll get something around that topic. Brendan says, I was replying to the Silvergate Bank. Oh, yeah, Silvergate Bank. That's what I was trying to refer to before. I think I said Phoenix, but yeah, you're right. Silvergate Bank. That's in trouble at the moment from comments you made earlier. That's correct. Thanks, Brendan. That is correct. I just forgot the name. Well, you're definitely loved by the community, regardless of you speaking or not. You're 100% appreciated, says Cryptality. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Prada, it's coming up later. Prada's coming up later. That's for sure. Yep, Silvergate Capital. Nice one. All right, so let's get on to it, folks. Day 1134 on the Hex journey. 23rd of September, 2.467 cents is the price. Up 7.6% is the change. And let's have a look at our payout. Our payout is 6.66 today. Woohoo! This is what Hex is all about. So even though we're waiting for Pulsechain, you can buy and stake Hex, right? So there we are, and earn the sweet, sweet return. It's going to be pretty cool. The share rate is $630. The share rate jumped today, 70.4. Now, we did expect a couple of these little jumps as we lead into the 15th of February. And on 15th of February, we're expecting about a over 600 Hex jump, right? So if you are going to look to stake, it's better to do earlier, pays better, because the share rate is waiting for nobody, and it's going to have some decent jumps in it, which means it just costs you more to get your position. And then, of course, you want to use longer pays better, and a bigger pays better if you've got a lot, especially at these prices of Hex, you can get a lot more volume, get access to more. That bigger pays better. So get into that. Once again, what I was going to say about that is that, if you do longer pays better, you can get up to 200% more shares, over a 10-year period. So definitely think about that, 20% more per year. That is a pretty big deal. Now, if you didn't see the Crypto Spy book video about the Power T shares, I posted that on this channel yesterday. It's just you can go straight to the content, and of course, you can see that on this channel. So really cool alpha there from those guys. Really, really cool. All right, so the APY is the average stake length is 6.55 years, so up from yesterday. And of course, the APY rate, the yield and emergency and state penalty is 38.76%. Amazing, paid out in Hex. Liquidity pool's gone down from a massive 323 million down to 305. That's a pretty decent decrease there. And of course, the pool, they're almost back at 11 million US dollars. Cool to see that. And 1,673 ETH in there, so that's a good day in the office. And like I say, if we want to get back up to like 50 cents, then we're going to need another probably $25 million to get us there, maybe 24 million to get us there. That's kind of the amount. So you've always got to think, when you think about Hex going up, you've got to say, where'd the money come from? Where'd the money come from, my bro? That's what you got to think about there. Right? There's a little bit of I don't know what that was, but that's kind of the idea. I might end up breaking down those sources on another video, so stay tuned for that. What else there? We got change in T shares there, down 24,580. We're down to 10,287,000. Woo-hoo-hoo. What's going to happen on the 14th of February with the Hex Godwell stake? We'll stay tuned for that. Was it Valentine's Day? We'll see. We'll see how we go there. Does that have any other meaning? We will find out too. All right, so we're going to scroll over there. We've got stake percentage of coins down under 10%, 9.99. That is a percentage. And of course, a wicked, absolutely awesome day in the office for Hex stakers. 8.4 million Hex penalties on top of our inflation yield. Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. Remember, Hex is pretty much like Bitcoin with the proof of work change, what we say. And of course, you get paid the inflations, not the miners. And of course, you may or may not need to dump it on people's heads. But hey, look, you just stake more and more and more, scrape some of the interest, and what an awesome passive income. And of course, at the moment, if you buy Hex, you need a copy on Pulsechain. It's 2 for 1. That's a pretty good deal in my view. And of course, we are growing. So let's have a look at the growth numbers. Current holders up 53 to 316,000 on Etherscan. We've got the stakers as our headline number up 66 to 117,152. And of course, the total holders up 219 to 521,620. That is our results for day 1134. We're on to day 1135. We're in our second month of year 4. And of course, our base payment there is 6.27 Hex. But we already got 487,000 in Hex penalties already. It just keeps coming. It's raining Hex. It's raining Hex on us. Isn't that awesome? That is the Hex Daily Stats, folks. Let's jump over to some of the other stuff. Obviously, Pulsechain. A lot of people are getting excited about this. Some people are calling a mainnet in September. I hope not. It is definitely a long time. I don't really see a lot of reason for it. I do think May does feel good to me. There's quite a lot of people calling that too. Obviously, Richard Hart is the man who calls the shots. We're speculating. We take the information that we have and we try to make assessments that way. And of course, you guys can see how I put that on the screen here. Both the financial markets, that's what's taking us from cheap money to more expensive money. When does that stop? And of course, the timing of the bottom of the market also. And on top of that, of course, the Pulsechain and Ethereum upgrades. When does that give us a clue? And then finally, the ecosystem for Pulsechain, all our top AAA projects are finishing their dApps, and they've got the time to do it. And it's looking very good. All these things are lining up pretty nicely. So that gives us the rationality for the speculation here. So that's kind of where the play, that's kind of the earliest time frame that I can see at the moment, barring some super surprise from Richard. That would be pretty much it. But obviously, no expectations is what we say. No expectations is how it rolls. So that's kind of the call there. Let's have a look here. Pulsechain, this is what we've got at the moment. A V2B running on the old proof of work. And of course, the last update we had from Richard was on the 3rd of January. But we're probably going to get one today of some form a week later. And of course, hey, everybody waiting for Pulsechain, PulseX. I'm waiting too. It's ready when it's ready. Welcome to software. Of course, we've seen this many times, but it was nice to have it. But here's probably the cool thing. 291,000 views of this video here. So if you're wondering where the people are they going to come out of the woodwork? I believe they will be coming out of the woodwork, folks. It's going to be pretty epic. And of course, Ethereum is growing. There's even more projects on Ethereum now. So Pulsechain will still have the biggest airdrop on crypto because there's so many more big things happening on Ethereum. We see the gas prices rising. So it's going to be fun to see that play out. Now, obviously, the team is working hard. We can see here on the Discord. Now, this could be things as easy as opening up tab. So these activities could be simply just basic things. But we do see them pretty consistently updating these. They're definitely on Discord. GitLab every day. We got the 3 commas on there. 9th of January, last activity. Agris there, 9th of January. We've got Artem there, 9th of January. We've got Ben C, 8th of January. We've got Brett Paulson, 9th of January. Remember, Brett was the one that gave us the alpha on New Year's Day, talking about how Pulsechain is going to take over the world. Richard Hart's going to change the world pretty much. Not take over, change the world is the right language. So that is pretty exciting. We've got lots of updates. 9th of January here from Heinz. We've got the 4th of January from Carl, obviously. And we've got Lucas Carlson here, 9th of January as well. And the only one that's not logged in for a while, it seems, is Richard Hart, because that's the 6th of September. But hey, he's just on the phone now. When's it ready, bros? When's it ready? That's pretty much it. I've got to go and speak today. I've got to speak today on the Hex conference. And of course, that's about to start in 5 minutes, folks. 5 minutes. I hope you guys are excited. I'm excited. You just never know. Hey, look, even if there's nothing about Pulsechain, we get a really nice, solid update from Richard about just everything else. That'd be cool too. Pulsechain will eventually come down the line. But hey, you just never know. We just never know. Fingers crossed. Let's go. Let's go. All right. So I hope you guys enjoyed that today. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, hit the bell, all that good stuff. I'm going to read out the last couple of comments before we jump out of here. I will have to be selective though, so stay tuned for that. We're going to play Bubble Boy. Is it Bubble Boy? I think it is. We'll see how we get on with that one. I'll see everyone at the Hex conference there, Sandy Beach. Michael Producer in the house there. Zen up to the right. Who else have we got in here? Thanks, Super, says KD. You're welcome. Solomon says Richard just needs to be transparent and stop hiding behind LV bags and Louis Vuitton bags. Man up, he says. Japon says, thanks, Superman. You legend. You're welcome. All right, let's play out some music on the way. And of course, the conference is about to start. I will post the links there as well in Discord. If you haven't joined our Discord, let's look for a little bubble. He's going to play us out here with Haters Tears. Haters Tears. All right, peace out, everybody. Take care. Rock on. Let's see what we get out of this conference, man. Woo-hoo-hoo. Day 4. Yeah, boy.
Here in my $3,000 Valentino Rockstud purse, my $3,000 Prada jacket, $2,000 Prada Valentino Rockstud purse.
Hold up. Wait, we can't. We got the poll. I almost forgot the poll. That's crazy. 226 votes and I almost forgot the poll. That's hilarious YouTuber stuff right there. You clip that and you spread that around. You mock the heck out of Superman with that one. All right, we got Will Richard Hart announced Pulsechain Testnet V2 today. We got 50% says no. He's waiting to. 50% there are waiting to. We got who the heck knows. Proof of weight 25%. Yes, he signals imminent launch 15%. Yes, he indicates 2 more weeks, 9% there. So we've got 75% are pretty doubtful we're going to get anything today. That's a big heads up from the community. That is no expectations there, folks. He signals imminent launch 15%. That's the Hopium class. I kind of feel my heart feels for that class. That's kind of where my heart is. Yes, he indicates soon, 2 more weeks, 9% there. And that is the votes, 226. That's pretty awesome. I love it. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Hey, a special thanks to Brennan. Always the poll. It's always the poll that gets me. The poll, it's funny that. All right, take care, everybody. All right, we're definitely going out now. Peace. Bye for now. We got to do it.
Everybody, Richard Art here in my $3,000 Valentino Rockstud purse, my $3,000 Prada jacket, $2,000 Prada shirt, $2,000 or $3,000 Prada pants, Prada glasses, Prada hat, Prada bracelet, and it's all Prada shirt, Prada hat, Prada glasses, Prada pants, and it's all nylon, so the haters' tears fall right off. Prada shirt, Prada hat, Prada glasses, Prada pants, and it's all nylon, so the haters' tears fall right off.
Lil Bubble, let me ride that rocket.